Janitors navigate the dimly lit corridors of schools, hospitals, and historic buildings in the silence that follows the bustle of the day. They clear away the leftovers of day-to-day existence, but sometimes they experience something definitely more disrupting than spilled espresso or dissipated papers. The eerie encounters that lurk in the shadows of their workplaces are revealed by these true janitor horror stories. Brace yourselves for a chilling journey into the unknown as we explore the echoes in the empty halls. Story 1. The Phantom Cleaner. James had worked at Crestview Elementary as a janitor for more than a decade. He heard a faint sound of children laughing and playing down the hall one winter evening while cleaning the empty classrooms. He followed the sound, his footsteps softly echoing on the polished floors, confused and curious. He followed the laughter to an old school wing that had been abandoned for a long time and was covered in shadows that danced in his flashlight's dim light. James was left standing alone in the cold, empty corridor when, for some reason, the laughter suddenly stopped and fell into a strange silence as he got closer. A chill that appeared to infiltrate his bones made him shudder. He couldn't quite put his finger on the presence in the air, which he described as a mix of reminiscence and an unsettling otherworldliness. James continued despite his apprehension by carefully inspecting the rooms that had previously been filled with the lively energy of children. His flashlight's beam reflected dust motes, which created eerie patterns on the walls. The school reverberated with whispers of its past, as though suspended in time. James couldn't shake the inclination that he had coincidentally found something outside his ability to grasp, something that waited in the shadows of Crestview Elementary. With his flashlight creating long shaded areas on the dusty walls, James warily entered the abandoned study hall. The silence that was in the air was just broken by the weak sound of his own footsteps reverberating down the unfilled passages. His heart skirted a beat when he saw a little figure clustered there and delicately crying as he moved toward the corner. "Hello?" James got down on probably, his voice shaking in the tranquility. The figure made a slow turn in his direction, revealing a pale face and empty eyes that appeared to penetrate him. Stunned and overwhelmed with dread, James staggered in reverse, his flashlight shuddering in his grasp. The figure disintegrated into shadowy specks and vanished into thin air in front of his eyes. James ran out of the room in terror, his thoughts racing with disbelief and terror. He never spoke of the encounter again, but from that night on, strange occurrences plagued Crestview Elementary. Whispers and phantom footsteps echoed through the empty halls, a chilling reminder of the ghostly presence that now haunted the abandoned school. Story 2. The Mysterious Stains. Sarah was the newest janitorial employee at St. tasked with maintaining the spacious patient rooms and corridors at St. Jude's Hospital. Sarah approached the challenging job with diligence and professionalism. She had no idea that the hospital held secrets that would put her courage to the test in unexpected ways. One night, as she fastidiously wiped the emergency unit, saw something impossible to miss, a progression of dull stains that showed up on the tile floor. The stains would reappear the following night, spreading further down the hallway like an unsettling trail, no matter how many times she scrubbed and cleaned. Concerned and determined to uncover the source of the stains, Sarah cautiously inquired among her fellow janitors and nurses. Their expressions were tinged with nervousness, and their responses were guarded. Some murmured regarding a patient who had kicked the bucket under puzzling conditions quite a while back, their last minutes covered in obscurity and vulnerability. She delved deeper, researching old records and hospital archives late into the night. Undeterred by the hospital's ominous history, she found that the stains were exactly where the patient had taken their last breath, in a room that had been closed off to the public for a long time. Sarah couldn't shake the inclination that she was being looked at as she proceeded with her nightly rounds. She heard a weak voice murmuring her name one night as she moved toward the stained section of the hallway. She turned in fear to see a shadowy figure standing there with intense eyes on her that sent chills down her spine at the end of the hallway. She dropped her mop with trembling hands and ran, her steps echoing through the empty corridors as she raced to get away from the ominous presence that remained in St. Hospital for St. Jude. The stains were still there, a grim reminder of the hospital's gloomy past, and the unseen forces that roamed its corridors. Story 3. The Locked Room. Thomas had been the custodian of Kingswood University's historic buildings for many years. Every classroom and hallway seemed to be covered in a rich tapestry of academic achievement and unsolved mysteries. But it was one particular night that would forever alter his perception of the university's storied past. One evening, he got a very urgent call about a leak in the main library basement. He entered the dimly lit depths of the university, carrying his reliable toolbox. The air was heavy with the scent of old books and secrets that had been forgotten. As he approached the leak, his sharp eye caught sight of a small wooden door hidden behind shelves of dusty manuscripts and weathered times. Intrigued by the possibility of uncovering a hidden treasure or forgotten artifact, he retrieved an old key and unlocked the door, revealing a narrow passageway that led deeper underground. The temperature dropped noticeably as he moved further into the winding passageways, each turn leading him deeper into the core of the secret history of Kingswood University. He heard faint whispers and footsteps echoing through the cold stone walls just as he was about to turn around. He followed the sound out of curiosity and a sense of adventure until he reached a large, circular chamber with a flickering light. The meanings of the ancient symbols on the walls have been lost to time. The light suddenly went out as he got close, and he was plunged into complete darkness. The shadows around Thomas were dancing in a macabre ballet, and panic gripped Thomas as he fumbled for his flashlight. He could feel but not feel shadowy figures moving around in the darkness near the edge of his vision. In a desperate attempt to escape the unknown horrors that lay beneath Kingswood University, he stumbled back and fled the room, closing the door behind him. These stories reveal the hidden horrors that janitors may encounter in the quiet corners of their workplaces. As they clean up after hours, they navigate not only spilled messes but also the ghosts, stains, and mysteries that lurk in the shadows. Remember these tales and the chilling truth they uncover the next time you walk through a deserted hallway at night. Sometimes, the things we don't see are the most terrifying. Remember these stories and the disturbing truths they reveal the next time you walk through a deserted hallway or enter a dimly lit room. The most eerie things are sometimes the unseen forces that lurk in the shadows,